Hi there, I'm Daz. So I've recently completed the Deadric side quest Waking Nightmare. This is the one that takes place at Dawnstar and Nightcaller Temple. And as you can see, I chose the evil ending on this occasion by murdering Erandur and taking the Skull of Corruption. Now I generally play as a nice guy and allow Erandur to complete his ritual and then stick around for the rest of the game as a potential follower, but I have opted for the evil ending a couple of times in the past. Once to obtain the Oblivion Walker achievement, and another time just in order to fill the bespoke weapon rack that can be found at Maya Watch. So I went for the evil ending this time, just because in all the years I've been playing Skyrim, I've never actually put this weapon to the test, so I thought I'd give it a go. So there is a close-up of the Skull of Corruption. You can see it looks pretty badass, but is it going to prove to be so in practical terms? So let's take a look, shall we? This does 20 points of damage, which increases to 50 if powered with dreams collected from sleeping people. So obviously, to give this any real sting, we need to get this charged up by doing some dream stealing. Now for this demonstration, I've chosen Jorvaska in Whiterun. This is actually quite well stocked up with dreams already. I visited Riften before coming here and made the rounds there of the barracks and Helga's bunkhouse. So I think there's about 100 dreams stored up at this point. Each time you dream steal a sleeping person, it will increase the charge of dreams by 5. So I'm up to 110. This should be 115. Each time the weapon is used against a foe, it will reduce the charge by 1. Now, dream stealing is not considered a crime, so you do not need to be concerned about witnesses. But there is one precaution that you do need to take. This weapon has a large area of effect, seems to be around about 15 feet. So you need to be very certain that there are no people awake anywhere near the targeted beds. I tried this at Castle Dower. I targeted a soldier's bed, and there was another soldier sat about 10 feet away at a table having a drink. And before I knew it, I had a 40 gold bounty on my head, and half a dozen soldiers trying to slice me into little pieces. So yeah, be very careful, make sure there's no one wide awake anywhere near any of the people that you're targeting. So that's Ayela's dreams stolen. I think that's enough of a demonstration. So one of the plus points in favour of this weapon is the fact that there does not seem to be any upper charge limit. Maybe if you get up to 1,000 it stops collecting dreams, but I'm not going to be getting it up that high. Another point in the weapon's favour is that this apparently ignores all magic and elemental resistances. So whether you're targeting a mud crab, a saber cat, a frost giant, a Dunmer, a Breton or a Nord, should make no difference. When fully charged with dreams, this weapon should cause 50 points of damage. Now what else can I say? Right, I read some forum discussions that this is also effective against magic wards. I put that to the test. I travelled to Felglow Keep to take on the mages there, and I found that this weapon was completely ineffective against wards. So that was my finding. Due to its large area of effect, this can prove useful in certain situations. Obviously, if you're in somewhere like a bandit camp where There are lots of enemies coming at you at once. You can pick off quite a few in one go, but this has the downside that the weapon is useless if you have followers with you, or if you are in friendly territory like a town or a city, because you're going to aggro allies too easily. Now, the major downside from my point of view is the soul gem usage of this weapon. Unfortunately, this does not fall under any specific magic school. So, for instance, if I was using a Staff of the Storm Wall, I'd be able to wear items that reduce destruction spell cost. That is not possible with this weapon. So you're only ever going to get 75 hits out of the Skull of Corruption before this needs to be recharged with another soul gem. And you've got to bear in mind also that using this to steal dreams counts as a hit, so it burns through the soul gem charge very quickly. So my final verdict on this weapon is that it's going to look very nice on the bespoke weapon rack at Maya Watch, but it's not going to be of any practical use to my character in terms of gameplay. Some people may have a different experience and they may have found some unique ways to exploit this weapon to its full potential. I'd be very interested to hear about those in the comments if people have a good experience with this. So I think that's about all I can say, and thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.